On your marks, get set, bake.
I love that.
Good flavor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
What's good, people? Ooh, see, now I'm real loud. Wowzers. Everything has been so quiet, y'all. I was over here tweaking stuff in the background while that intro was beginning, and now I'm like, nope, that sounds like thunder loud. Wowzers. All right, well, we just gonna be tamp myself down a little bit now, because now, wowzers. Hey.
Oh.
It's Crème Caramels. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. It talks about me, the Internet's Terror 713. Heard, the Internet's Nick Jew.
Hello.
We outside. No guest this week. It just kind of didn't work out that way. Our scheduled guest, Miss Parwana, was like, I got a new gig and I am so busy. So congrats on a new gig.
Yay, Parwana, new job.
I'm sad we can't have you as a guest tonight, but that just means it's old school and it's me and Nick, and it's great. So don't worry. We're gonna have a good time, y'all. I got you a news story. So the news segment is covered. And I have to slide it to this side of the screen. So I'm, looking at the camera, which I constantly have to remind myself to do.
Mm-hmm.
But worry not. We got you. Oh, and that news segment has a title. It's called Bakers Make the World Go Round. And it comes with a little clip here.
Bakers make the world go round.
Right back at it. I pulled this one. Just where did this show up at that when I got this? I think it might have been. I might have saw this on Instagram. Like I said, I'm not. I try to be a little less on Instagram, but at this point, because I have to do this stuff all the time, I'm back on Instagram. Might as well just be. So I'm in these Instagram streets. Came across this one, and I think it's a pretty fun article. And I'm probably not even gonna read the whole thing. I just think it's fun and it'll be in your show notes. Baker Kim Joy calls her colorful English home a giant cake I can live in. Oh. The Great British Bake Off favorite prioritize heaping helpings of color and a dash of DIY in her personal space. This is Caitlin Minza, and this is from House Beautiful is the name of this magazine. We'll go with that. Just try not to smile when walking into cookbook author Kim Joy Hewlett's home in the English countryside, outside Leeds. The colors hit first, with aqua stairs outlined in dandelion spindles and banisters along the left and a bubblegum pink scene on the right. A zebra runner invites you up, as does a soap bubble light fixture dangling overhead. A custom terrazzo floor resembles what else? Sprinkles. The entry's the most important space because it's the first thing I see. It has to feel like, wow, says Kim Joy, who purchased the home with her husband, Nabby Homsey. Didn't know Kim Joy's husband's name. In 2021, in pursuit of that jaw-dropping moment, she sacrificed a bedroom upstairs and moved a bathroom to establish a double height entryway, which alludes to the joyful space beyond. It's a hallway, says Kim Joy. It should be fun and energizing. Not many people think that way about a hallway, but then again, not many people see the world like Kim Joy. The baker, who became a fan favorite during the 2018 season of the Great British Bake Off, thanks to her whimsical animal-shaped bakes, has gone on to publish 5 cookbooks. Told y'all that not a couple of weeks ago. Kim Joy be out there, y'all, on the book game. Themed around joy, including this spring's new Bake Me a Cat, which I think is a fun title. The exuberant colors, fearless print mixing, and quirky objects dotting her home are a continuation of her on-screen style. It was designed and renovated and most often DIY'd around her highly focused needs and worldview, which can best be summed up as, why wouldn't you want to have fun if you could? I want to read a little more of this. Here, a little more. It took a few meetings to find the right renovation team, with Kim Joy ultimately choosing the pros at Studio J Architects because they let me take the lead and did not push any ideas on me, she says. Excited to be involved, Kim Joy took on much of the ideating herself, using free online tools to help create floor plans and 3D walkthroughs to help translate her specific needs, like a tap with an instantly boiling water and a pantry with loads of shelving, which would allow her to keep track of missing food before grocery runs. Okay, Kim Joy. Naturally, a butter-colored KitchenAid mixer gets the star treatment on the island. I know some people keep it in the drawer, but no, she says. She enabled Nabil tiled the kitchen themselves, learning on YouTube tutorials and using a black epoxy grout that every contractor tries to deter them from using due to its difficulty to clean. Even more rules were broken when it came to the room's decor. Instead of upper cabinets, a thin picture shelf hosts tropical plants and framed art like pieces by the English comic artist Tula Lotte. Don't know any of that. Anyway, there's some more. Kim Joy's house is dope. Lots of pictures in this article, so you can check it out and see what they talking on. It's really well decorated, y'all. It's a very beautiful home. And if you love and think of Kim Joy, it's just her stuff. Oh, and of course they have a link to that butter colored KitchenAid stand mixer.
Oh yeah, I bet.
$500.
We
We won't be supporting that notion, y'all.
I could imagine Kim Joy's house is just as colorful and fun and lovely as she is.
Really, truly, truly it is. So that was our news for the week. Let me give y'all a little slide out. Our remaining bakers in the tent this semifinal week are Adela, Chris, Daniel, and Kim. It's going to be a good time, y'all. This is a fun episode. My initial watch of this episode came slightly inebriated, is how I'm going to word that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to highly recommend you never watch a semifinal because it's a little too tense. Or at least it was for your boy. And I was like, this bake-off experience is a little uncomfortable now because I'm feeling a little shaky.
This was a wild one too. Like this one was a bit of an excitement, a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was a very fun one to watch. But again, like I said, maybe don't watch it the first time.
Yeah.
But I really, really think it was a good time to be had here. The intro was also pretty freaking hilarious. The semi. I'm trying to figure out what I say now. Now that they have put it in my head.
I had the same experience because they were saying caramel, and semi. Yeah. And I think I switched them both up because I could be on Casey's side for a semi truck.
Yeah.
But a semifinal is not a semifinal, I don't think.
And so, what's her name from Ted Lasso? The barkeep in Ted Lasso. There's some.
Is it Peggy?
And she says a semifinal, and I always just say semifinal, like her.
Right. Yes.
Whenever it comes up, and so that's where my brain is at for semi. So I guess it's semifinal. But here, I'm gonna play it for you. Yeah, I got it for you this time, as opposed to later in the week when I edit it. And so you can watch this intro and you can tell me who you think is right, Zach or Casey.
It's a huge day in the tent. Let's head inside for the semifinals.
The semifinals are the matchup that is right before the finals.
That's absolutely right, Zach, except it's semifinals, not semifinals. Other than that, let's head into the tent.
Okay, well, let's not head into the tent because it's semifinals, and I've never in my life heard anyone say semifinals.
And I've never heard that because it's semi-truck, semi-pro, semi-abstract.
Okay, and also it's semicolon, the most useful punctuation.
Okay, Zach, we're getting kind of bogged down here.
Welcome to the Great American Baking Show semifinals. Okay, well, you can go go ahead.
Why don't you go? 'Cause
Let's
I know
head
you
into
get-
the tent.
Follow me.
Go ahead.
Go.
I'm just going to stand here quietly.
Semi-final.
Semi-final.
One of hers I did not agree with.
What'd you say?
One of hers I didn't agree with.
Oh, hey.
Semi truck, did she say?
Yeah, I do
One of
say
them, I was like,
no,
no,
you
I
know
don't
what?
like
I don't even say semi. I say it's a tractor trailer. So I use
A semi.
yeah.
I would call it a semi.
I use a whole different bit of language for that too, and I don't. So there you go, people. Semifinal. Well, this here is semifinal.
This was the hardest episode of the season for me to watch when everything jiggles.
Bruh. It was a jiggly week in the tent. That's what I would call it. It's just jiggly week. It's kind of when you think about it. But go ahead and tell us about it.
Signature challenge is 8 beautifully set creme caramels. They should consist of perfectly set custards baked with a caramel sauce and turned out to present. They may flavor the custard in any way, but each dessert should feature at least one additional decorative element. They'll have 2 hours and 45 minutes. There we go.
Okay, let's go over, y'all. A creme caramel is just flan. Don't fall for it. It's flan. It's everything you know what flan is. But they call it something different in England because England got to be, well, I guess that is definitely a French turn of phrase, creme caramel. So, but
I've had one bite of flan in my life. Is it caramel on the top? Is that what that is?
well, yeah. Okay. That is definitely what that is. That runs over it in a nice little river when you turn it out.
I think I'm so traumatized by the whole experience that I don't remember the sauce, just the custard.
Daniel's is up first here. He's going for a cereal milk creme caramel. You will what you will. Topped with white chocolate milk, a white chocolate milk splash. You got to see it to understand it. And cereal sprinkled in that little deal. What he's doing is he's steeping cornflakes in that particular cereal, cornflakes in the cream setup that you need to get the flavor out of. Then he's sprinkling in that a little bit of coffee, kind of to help beat back the sweetness a little bit. And what I'm like, this is the one I would be like, this is the one I try.
Mm-hmm.
For Adela, she's going for a calamansi fantasy. Calamansi fantasy. It's going to be infused with calamansi juice, topped with chantilly cream and a leaf-shaped twirl. Don't think I'm going to leave you out here in these streets without telling you about calamansi, my people. I got you. Calamansi is also known as calamodin, Philippine lime, or Philippine lemon. In what circles, I don't know. It's a citrus hybrid cultivated predominantly in the Philippines. It's native to the Philippines, part of Indonesia, Borneo, Sumatra, Sulawesi, Malaysia, and Brunei, as well as Taiwan and parts of southern China. Calamansi is ubiquitous in traditional Philippine cuisines. It is naturally very sour and is used in various condiments, beverages, dishes, marinades, and preserves. Calamansi is also used as an ingredient in Malaysian and Indonesian cuisines. Calamansi is a hybrid between a kumquat, formerly considering as belonging to a separate genus, Fortunella, and another species of citrus, in this case, probably the mandarin orange. So, word to calamansi, which again, I never heard of, but then it's like, I kind of want to just go through and look up all the citruses because it's a lot more than we are hip to, you know what I'm saying? We got,
and I feel like if you're a person who likes citrus, you probably like most of them, if not all of them.
Yeah, they're probably doing something. You know what I'm saying? They have an interesting look to them as well. So you know what? I guess I can show y'all what a calamansi look like.
Oh, I think I've seen these before and just thought that they were like not ripe oranges.
Let me share my screen. Entire screen. You know, there you go. That's the calamansi people, and they juice these bad boys.
The ones that I just saw on Google, they look, yeah, kind of like, you know how this one of them looks green and one of them looks orange. Most of them were both of the colors.
Oh, fascinating.
But this looks like a key lime, kind of. Unless that's a giant fork. Yeah, like the ones kind of in the middle of that tree of the last one.
Like it right
They look
on
like
there.
they look like they're both orange and green and yellowish. I'm sure it's good.
I'm down for the get down. Like I said, I will test out any number of citrus situations. So
Same.
So don't worry. Your girl Adela set me up for all kinds of little information this week with about everything she worked on. I got a little bit of something information to share with y'all about. So that just makes for a much more entertaining podcast when you think about. Because I got all kinds of stuff to tell you about. So Chantilly cream, you know what that is? That's just whipped cream in a leaf-shaped twill. It's gorgeous. I like the way she working that out. We'll get to that more of that in the judging. But I think Adela came through this week.
Yes, I thought she had an amazing week. Yeah.
Kim, I said Clem. I'm thinking of Chris's kid. Kim, Fla, yeah, you want a Fla, you want a caramel? It's like flan. You want a caramel, and it's like it's a fun little play word. You know, I love a good punny title for your thing. So this is good to me. An espresso flavored creme caramel, topped with decorative leaf-shaped twills. I like it. She say caramel. I just do.
I feel like that's the other one. I do both. It just depends.
Oh, for sure. I'll say caramel, just because I'll end up doing it just because I bumped into it somewhere. But
I think it's 3 different ways that people are saying it on this particular show.
It's all over the place. So it's like whoever's got somebody just say it. Chris, I think his has been pretty interesting as a flavor note. He's making a popcorn creme caramel. Nut milk bag to squish nuts. Man, it shouldn't be funny, but God, man, I'm not a child. And nut milk is a hilarious turn of phrase.
This was a nut episode.
Heavy episode, nut forward.
Nut heavy. It was nut forward. A lot of nuts.
Oh
Big
my
nut.
gosh. This is gonna be topped with peanut Florentines and a little bit of caramel corn. And like when you're hearing me say caramel corn, you're probably thinking Cracker Jacks. You might be thinking some fiddle faddle or whatever. No, one singular kernel of popped corn dipped in a piece of. It's so dope when you see it. It's like, okay, well done, sir.
This is Chris's second time using popcorn in the competition.
Yeah. My man, you know, you like what you like, and I'm with it. Kim is up first. Initially, Prue worried the coffee would overwhelm the caramel, but it turns out it didn't. It was a weird kind of thing to watch her eat that. She's like, I thought this was like, was she thinking it? Or did it hit her tongue at first? It was coffee, and then there's the caramel. Maybe that's just how it worked out. Guess what? It didn't overwhelm it. The custard is silky smooth and baked extremely well. A beautiful wobble there. Whomst amongst us? Chris, most of them are smooth. They like the brandy snap on top, which is not what that is, but you know, whatever. It's a little stiff, probably overbaked. They like the flavor. Prue doesn't think the custard has enough popcorn flavor, but if you eat the caramel corn, it's too much popcorn.
It's too much popcorn.
Baby, what you supposed to do at that point?
What are you gonna do?
Very pleasant, if a little overdone. Adela looks exciting. The piping is pretty terrible, and she explains that it just is the way the piping works. She had to basically pipe in a different way to get the twill to stay up. Interesting flavor. Quite a contrast with the caramel in Prue's mind. She likes the flavor of the calamansi, Paul likes the flavor of the calamansi and says that he will be hunting for it in the future. But overall, it gives you a sense of chalk in that the calamansi has a dryness to it.
Bruh, the way he said the word chalk, it was like the most offensive thing he had ever put in his mouth. He was like, it's chalk. And what baffles me is Prue didn't even mention the texture.
I'm not saying he was on one this week because he really wasn't anything, but it's just like I don't like that turn of phrase. I feel like maybe you could have said something different because chalk sounds like gross. But
Yeah.
you're telling me it tastes good, so it's not gross.
I think it's just the texture that he means is chalky. What I also have a grievance with is that the piping wasn't terrible. It was just that the twill was heavy and she had to anchor it in the back. So it maybe wasn't the most whatever, but I thought that her, they were beautifully decorated. It's something I definitely would have eaten if it weren't for my texture issues.
I probably would have tasted this one. Again, I don't like flan. I don't like the notion of Crème Caramels. It's all jiggly food. In this case, I'm with Nick on this one. I don't get down with that. They like the twills and think they're nice. As for proof, she said she'd have another one.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand the chalk comment.
Again, I don't know if that's the turn of phrase he should have went with, but that's what he did. So, let's see. Daniel, they like the look of them. Quite playful and smooth looking. Nice wobble. Tiny bit of coffee that Prue likes. Not as smooth as it could be. Should be smooth, but flavorful, but the flavor is appreciated. So basically what happens is his cook almost not instantly, but super faster than expected by him.
Yes.
And it's probably they started cooking when the hot water hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you go put them in the oven. It's like, well, this is already going. So this ends up being that these cook faster. So they're a little bit bubbly. And that's probably, in Paul's opinion, probably is the way he poured them, but I don't think so. I feel like Daniel knows what he's doing. And he says he makes like custards like this for his husband with regularity. So
Right.
I don't think he would have poured them away. I just think the way they cooked end up giving you this little bubble situation, and that's just what it is. But we know that as the viewer. Paul don't know that as the judge. He just thinks he knows what he's talking about in this instance.
And it didn't seem like an offensive amount of bubbles. It was just more than you should have.
Yeah. So that was this week's signature. Whew, it's technical, Nick.
I'm sorry if I offend whatever culture this is, but I'm gonna work it out.
It's the Esterházy.
Yes. Which because I take my notes talk to text, and they picked it up and then it auto-corrected to like Esther House. And I'm like, that's not what I meant. You got it right the first time. Technical challenge set by Paul. He advises the bakers to read their recipes very carefully. Paul is asking for a European classic, the Esterházy Torte. They must bake 5 layers of dacquois with French buttercream, apricot jam, and decorated with a white feathered icing, which wasn't white, resembling a spider web. They have 2 hours and 30 minutes.
The Esterházy Torte. It's a Hungarian cake, torte in parentheses, named after Prince Paul III Anton Esterházy de Galantha, a member of the Esterházy dynasty and diplomat of the Austrian Empire. It was invented by Budapest confectioners in the late 19th century and soon became the most famous cake in the lands of the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. Esterházy Torte consists of buttercream spiced with cognac or vanilla. In this case, they went with bourbon. Sandwiched between 4 and 5 layers of almond meringue. And in parentheses here, they say macaron, but I don't think that's what's going on here. Dough. The torte is iced with a fondant glaze and decorated with the characteristic chocolate stripe pattern. There are, however, many different recipe variations in Hungary. The original almonds have been entirely replaced by walnuts. They don't even do it the old school way in Hungary no more. But Paul, he gets down. He's a traditionalist, man. He wants them almonds, and one of them bad boys toasted. Toast my almonds before you slap them on the side of my cake, baby.
This is another nut heavy conversation.
The tree nut game is to be real. As you know what it is, it's a technical challenge. I really can't tell you much about it. People went in, they attempted to make it. None of the bakers knew what this was. But I guess the directions were clear enough to at least be like, okay, this is kind of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting together some dacquois. Oh yeah, I guess I'll probably tell you what dacquois is, because I don't think we've talked about dacquois in this shortened season of the American version. So dacquois is normally a cake, but it's made up of layers of almond and hazelnut meringue. In this case, so that's why they say a macaron in the other description, because almond flour is what you make macarons up as. But this is slightly different. And then layers of buttercream. So the Esterházy Torte is a type of dacquois. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you got to kind of get down with that notion. Let's judge Kim first. Kim is up top. Does not have toasted almonds on it. It has not been in the oven, in reference to the almonds. It's a bit domed. Looks pretty rushed. It does have the requested feathering, though not as centralized as they would have wanted it. The feathering was just slightly
kind of leaning.
A little bit lean to it. Nice crack when they cut through it. You know what I'm saying? You want a meringue like that, where the type, the dacquois, you want to have a nice crack to it. Not much brandy flavor, or not much buttercream at all, in their opinion. Chris, looks quite homely.
Damn.
Because the top has slid.
It was leaning.
Yeah, good structure, just not level. Soft, not very neat. The dacquois is not baked enough. Good brandy flavor, though, and they like the buttercream. Daniel, like the look of it. Good height. Needed more feathering, more detail. Baked well, though, the flavors are a bit thick. The layers are a bit thick. Prue doesn't mind the thickness. Nice flavor. The almonds are nice and toasted. Just needed more webs in the spider web feather situation. If you would have seen how they do this, basically you draw a spiral of chocolate. And basically you take a knife or a toothpick and you kind of drag them through. And then, that's how you get this little feathery technique. Unless you're Adela, who just decided, I'm going to pipe a spider web on this bad boy, which made me holler.
She literally drew on an entire spider web, which is like taking a difficulty level 10 to 15
for no reason.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious to me. Very low, as in the cake does not have height to it. That's not feathering. That's a spider's web.
Yes.
Most of the buttercream is on the outside and is melted and curdled. Nice flavor. Yeah, but it was probably too hot when it was decorated. And some of the toasted almonds are burnt, a bit clumsy. Yeah. In fourth, bet you can guess, Tadella. Looks as if you had a rush at the end and too much brandy split the buttercream. So basically, they don't know how much brandy to add. But she of course is like, look, I'm gonna hit this brandy up because I know my homegirl Prue like it. Too much brandy splits the buttercream. But Prue did like the flavor, but she also said that was about it. Chris, you said, I think I just come in third, last.
Yeah.
To you, sir. Very messy. Not sure where the buttercream went, and the top is untidy. Yeah. Kim, quite nice. It's just the nuts is not toasted.
Right.
Cool.
And she was just like, I forgot. She's like, I didn't even see it on the thing. I can imagine the pressure that they're under making this thing that they've absolutely never freaking heard of. Like, people have missed all sorts of things in the technical. People are forgetting to add sugar, eggs, whatever. This is light work for something you forgot to do.
But that's Paul was on that shit. Like, read them shits close.
Mm-hmm. He did say. Yep.
Daniel, baked well. The dacquois could have been a little thinner, but nice layers and beautifully neat. Boom, just like that. Daniel's an impressive baker, y'all. Just
yes.
Wild. So,
sorry, Showstopper. The
tell
worst showstopper of all time for me to witness.
Yeah.
Showstopper challenge is to create an odd mashup of fine art and jelly. The judges are asking them to make a beautiful show-stopping jelly art cake. They're looking for a layer of cake beneath a stunningly decorated jelly art topper. They have 4 hours and 30 minutes.
All right. Now, Nick Jew, you Showstopper?
Let me say yes, because the things that they managed to create were stunningly beautiful. It's just the jelly of it all.
I'm with you on that, but yeah, I just gelatin as an ideal is gross to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the pie week. I can't unless you're going to make like 7 pies and stack them all up on top. It's hard to put down a piece of gelatin made thing and me be like, oh wow, that's incredible. But the artwork, the technique, like I was super impressed. There were some beautiful things. I would not put any of it near my mouth to eat it. And every time they put it down or somebody walked past it, I thought I was going to throw up. But, not for me.
Not in any way, shape, or form, people. I'm just like, no bueno. Not at all.
And I thought that the gelatin part was kind of like a showpiece. Like, I didn't think they were going to be eating it, but then they started eating it too. And then, so I have to imagine what that mouth feel. Ooh, this week is so hard for me.
Yeah. Well, Kim's up first. Peony in Paradise. Peony. That plant, yeah. Inspired by Kim and Jerry's honeymoon in Maui, it's a coconut sponge filled with pineapple chili compote, topped with a layer of strawberry mousse and Italian meringue buttercream and toasted coconut. I'm all about the cake, nothing about the jelly. You know how this goes. Chris, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, inspired by his aquarium. It's a peanut butter sponge and mousse with layers of strawberry jam wrapped in a white chocolate collar. The jelly element here is it's imagine an aquarium with water, with fish in it, some plants. Very well. It's well done until it's not, and we'll get there in judging. Adela, tea time in Tokyo, inspired by the Japan cherry tree in bloom. Jelly on top of situation is basically a cherry blossom tree or cherry tree in bloom. Like that's what I'm saying. So it's a tree with blossoms popping off. On top of a strawberry chocolate crunch layer, and I don't know how to pronounce that, but luckily I have it up over here. Maybe it'll tell me how to pronounce it. It's just green tea. A hojicha is a hojicha mousse and a baked of chocolate crème surrounded by a jacon impreme. And so, of course, I need to tell you about all these things. So let's start with hojicha. And I want to see how they pronounce it. And they don't give me a pronunciation. They just have whatever. Let me drag this over here again so I can look at the barrel. It's a Japanese green tea. It's distinctive from other Japanese green teas because it's roasted in a porcelain pot over charcoal. It is roasted at 150 degrees C, 302 degrees Fahrenheit, to prevent oxidation and produce a light golden color, as opposed to other Japanese teas, which are steamed in general. The base of hojicha consists of leaves from the second harvest or after. So it's a very specific type of tea that is the mousse that Adele is going for here. I don't think I brought up Crème, but we've talked about Crème in the past. But a jacon, we have not talked about this go around because nobody been popping off with a jacon. Jacon is a relative of Genoa. The jacon sponge cake is a thin sponge cake made of ground almonds. It can be used as a layer in a layer cake, for example, an opera cake, or for decorative purposes, as in a jacon imprime, which is what Adela has hooked up this go round. And imprime is simply French and or Spanish for print. And what is happening here is Adela is taking cherry blossom and like kind of like making them with the dough with the batter, and then you pour the main batter on top of that, and so the print on the side of the cake looks like cherry blossom. Super dope. It's well, again, just I don't know, bro. No, a terrible tactical, but otherwise, I truly think Adela's on fire this week.
Yes,
that's your boy. Daniel is going for arriving in Porto. This is inspired by his first trip to Portugal. It's going to be made with layers of stacked and colored and, of course, flavored gelatin for a bit of a three-dimensionality to it that will set on top of a layer of coconut chiffon sponge, passion fruit curd, and an ube mousse. If you don't know, ube is a Japanese sweet
purple sweet potato. Yeah.
The purple joint. So that's what's popping with the the realm of ube. In case you didn't know. Let's judge the output. Adela's up top. Impressive design. Very
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yeah, for sure. Words of the cherry blossoms all around the sponge. Very impressive slice. Not overly powerful in flavor, but the balance of flavor between the crème and the mousse is fantastic. The entremet style is great because everything is set nicely. Perfectly edible. Tastes nice. Looks beautiful. Good job. Well done.
Nailed it.
Yeah. For Chris, looks good. The issue with the fogginess in that here's what happened. The gelatin took on a fog, and so it did not look as clear as Chris would have wanted. In addition to that, Chris made these like little gelatin fish to have them set in the bruh. Had it worked perfectly, I think it would have been great.
And it wasn't even the whole thing. It was like just at the top of it that was super foggy. So you couldn't really see all of the really great intricate work he did inside of that gel. Because those fish, like when they sliced it, I was like, oh dang, it looked so good.
Man. The issue with the fog looks good. The issue with the fogginess doesn't look attractive because it looks like a dirty pond.
It was murky.
But the jelly art is neatly done. Prue has finally had a peanut butter and jelly she likes, y'all. And why is that? Because it's strawberry jam instead of grape. Quit feeding these people grape jelly. I like grape jelly on my PBJ, but not everybody does. And if you give them other options, they might be down for your PBJ.
She like the previous challenge, the apricot and whatever. Like, would I eat a macaron with apricot in the filling? Probably, yeah. But like, I would have liked another fruit, like a strawberry or whatever. So I could see somebody who's not typically eating peanut butter and jelly would be like, I don't grape jelly. What the hell is this?
Also, they don't do grape jelly like we do over there. They do currant stuff. And currants and grapes, although
not the same.
Ain't the same. Yeah. The cake's a bit soggy at the bottom because the sponge is too thin. The proportions are off. There's so much jelly and not enough cake. Overall, of course, they like the flavor, but the design is flawed with the murkiness of the jelly.
And the jelly thing was so heavy, he thought his whole cake was going to collapse underneath. So that's probably what happened. The weight of it just smushed all the moisture down to the bottom.
Yeah. Daniel, Prue is impressed by the design and layering of the jelly.
Gorgeous.
It really was. That's why I'm okay with the how that thing turned out, because I'm just like, yo, this was art.
Yeah.
The cake is absolutely delicious. Prue has never had ube. Paul likes the cake and the curd as they are light and delicate. He does not like the mousse and the gelatin, though.
Yeah.
The taste is very nice, very clever. So I know I explained it, but I feel like I don't know if I gave you enough. So it takes like 5 layers of gelatin, so a little bit of individual thin layers of gelatin, and each of them is cut a specific way to look like a part of the cityscape. And then stacked atop each other. So you get, like I said, you get a depth of this background of the city, but also he has these stars that are in each layer. So there's layers. So they have their own like depth into it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. So well done.
Yeah.
Kim is last. The peony has lost its way. It's like a bowling ball that's been dropped in a cake. When you can see the peony, you can see the detail. When they cut it, you can see from the side. You're like, oh, there's the detail that's missing that you can't see from the top of this. The mousse is thick and grainy. The flavors are there, but not strong enough. And the jelly is tough. Pearl, on the other hand, has no quarrels with the flavor, but the textures are a little stodgy, both the cake and the mousse. There you have it, people. Your star baker this week is Daniel. And again, I'm okay with that based on this showstopper.
Yeah.
He came through.
Yeah.
I think Adela had a better week than you want. Like I said, better week than the technical gives away.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And it's typically that thing of like the technical doesn't count until it does.
Yeah.
And it happened to count for her this week. Not that I have an issue with Daniel winning. I thought he had a really great week, but even he seemed kind of surprised that he was the star baker. It was just very close. It was a super close week. And not this week, but last week, he had on the flyest shirt I've ever seen in the tent. Like, it was black, but upon further inspection, it was very shiny, like lots of little glittery shimmer on it. That thing was sharp. And he was nervous about having to get his hair cut by a new person because he over there and it was haircut time. And I would love to know how he felt about the haircut because I think it looks good.
Same. I think you look great.
Yeah.
Respect due to I hope somebody recommended it. It was like, go see this dude over here, or lady. You know what I'm saying? And they seem to know what they're doing because it looked great. So sent home, unfortunately, is Chris's. It's Chris's last go around in the tent, y'all. He didn't quite make it to the final, but made it real far and is a heck of a baker. And having just spoke with him, last week, come on.
Yeah. The fact that he just started baking and was just like, oh, I like this show. Let me try this. And now is in the tent is incredible. And, a recency bias because we just talked to him when he got emotional. When he was leaving, I too got a little emotional and he made it to the tent. He made it very far. I am a firm believer that 4 people should go to the end, but that's just me.
It's what it always is, people. And it's just how it has to go sometimes. And that's okay.
A hell of a showing. He thought he was going to go home that first week, and then he came back and did one of the best illusion cakes we have ever seen in this tent.
Yeah. I cannot believe he's been baking so short a time. It's bonkers. Like, that's wild to me, but that's the kind of baker and gentleman Chris is. So respect due to him for making as far as he did, and for the success and hey, here we are. You know what I'm saying? It just goes down like this sometimes, man. You know the deal. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you the deal. Just solid. Join us every Tuesday around 8:30 p.m. Eastern if you want to watch us record this live and join us and jump in the chat. If you're on YouTube, please comment and subscribe, and also share the video with people you think will enjoy it, man. Don't gatekeep us. Share us. Give us to everybody you think will get down with what we're doing over here. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit us with them 5 stars. It makes a difference. If you're so inclined and want to message us, you can shoot us an email at podcast@staycrunchyandmilk.com or call, text, or leave us a voicemail at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We would certainly love to hear from you, and hear from you this week. I got to go through a bunch of little things here. So let me get everybody up and running. Over on YouTube, Miss Susan Simpson hit us up again and said, another fun listen. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
It's so fun to know that you're listening to the show. Oh yeah, y'all. Out of relatively out of nowhere, old girl Jill. Jill, Northern Portions, getting down with our show. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Our girl Jill. And she can't even watch this show because they don't have the Roku channel over there, and she's still listening. Thank you, Jill.
So I'm a little taken aback that bakers on these versions of the show listen to what we're doing and take it to heart for when they make it to the tent. I think that's pretty darn great. And share that with people when you're talking about our show, okay? Let me tell you something. The bakers who we baking get down with what they doing over there. We got a couple of comments over on the Spotify page, both of them from the homie Brad. For Bread Week episode, he said, what fun. And for Pastry Week, because of course we had Chris on, he said the king of illusions. And indeed, that is the case, Brad. Thank you. Brad will be on next week's episode, y'all.
Woohoo!
So worry not. You know that's the homie. And let me jump over here to the email. If you're a long-term listener, you know this name. If you're new, we have a listener who comes through regularly, and we have been missing him this season. It was like, where's Frank at? But my man Frank is here to explain where Frank has been. And he sent us 2 emails. This is the first one. Hey there. Sorry, I am only commenting now. I have been so swamped with work and stuff going on in my personal life. I did not realize the latest season of the American Baking Show had aired. I didn't even realize that they had a special coinciding with the Super Bowl. I'd only been watching the latest round of Stand Up to Cancer specials. I had only found out less than 2 weeks ago you had new episodes. That was the day before my husband and I were leaving for Hawaii for a second honeymoon to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Congratulations to you.
Congrats.
Love that. I had to wait until we got back in order to binge episodes from Roku and catch up with your show. Hopefully, I'll finally get to watch your next episode live. I just missed the last podcast with Chris in episode 4. Like you all, I enjoyed this group of contestants. They are definitely very capable and endearing. They could easily slip into the main British show, despite all the mishaps and disasters that happened to them. Kim reminds me of Nicole Richie and sounds like the actress Carney Snodgrass. I don't know her work.
No, that is.
She is so wonderfully earnest and determined. 29 practices. Whoa. Daniel is sprightly and such a natural talent. Adela is so innovative with her flavors and ingredients. Chris is a good, bold risk taker with a solid technical sense. When it pays off big. That illusion cake, facts. When he crashes. Also facts. I like that there's been no domination by any single person. It's always good to keep the audience guessing. I commend the way you had guests on the show this year. Last year, you seemed to match people who got eliminated in that specific episode. This is better. I have to say, Parwana was a fantastic guest on your show, and I'm glad she's returning. She didn't get to return. I'm sorry. Make sure to bring her back in the fall. Certainly, we'll give it
definitely.
How she was able to make through episode 1 is mind-blowing. It's sad to think if she was on GBBO, they would have let her come back the following week.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I said, this is just the problem with an American production style. Watching this group so far has been a pleasure. You are right. They are really leaning into Prue's predilections, and Paul is not holding back with his remarks. Sometimes he's bordered on Simon Cowell level barbs.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, it helps to reduce the ire I still feel from learning Daniel Harthausen from the Big Brunch changed his mind about opening his restaurant, thus making the $300,000 prize a total waste on him.
He did?
I didn't even know about that. By the way, I don't recall if you commented on this thing during the episode when Zach and Casey did their skit about being behind the scenes secrets, including zombie rabbits. They started to show quick cuts of the rabbits throughout the episode and the following episode.
I didn't see it. I didn't notice. I'll have to go back and rewind.
The U.S. show has really hit its stride, despite fewer contestants in a shorter season. Hopefully, the reported threats of 100% tariffs on U.S. filming in foreign locales won't result in Roku discontinuing the show. There's a potential story for you, even if it's tangential. By the way, I was thinking back when they did the pizza technical challenge, and Prue was making an issue of wanting the crust needing to be soft and naturally floppy. And then Top Chef this season did a pizza challenge, and the judges made a big issue of insisting the crust need to be crisp and hold up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like different worlds, people.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have not lost your form and pizzazz. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Also, you probably should consider renaming it the Additional Slice.
I do love Additional Slice, but Crème Pat is our,
hey, so we get down. Excuse me being all over the place. I'm still coming down from second honeymoon high, Frank. So thank you so much, bro. I love hearing from you. Like I said, we was certainly looking out for you.
Yes, no apologies necessarily. We know life be lifing. Your job is important. Your husband is important. I hope y'all have had a lovely time in Hawaii, and we're just glad to hear from you whenever we do.
There you go. What was it that Zach and Casey did this week in the show? Oh, that balloon situation. That Casey scared of balloons.
Oh.
She's like, oh, wait, what you do with that balloon there, buddy? And then of course, he come through it. She goes, an hour left. And she just walked away from the balloon. I was like, like, y'all, we is not playing with these balloons. I know I don't get down with them, so stop.
Listen, so stop right now.
Oh my gosh. Next email from Frank is a suggestion for Baker's new segment for episode 5. Because remember, I was going to have an article for this week, but I already had one. But let's see what Frank recommends because it might be next week's news article. Hey, all, I thought you might consider doing a little discussion about Caroline Waldgrave, Lady Waldgrave of North Hill. She substituted for Prue for the Celebrity Stand Up for Cancer specials. She's an old pal of Prue and has a pretty interesting life that's worth discussing. She's shown great expertise and has very relaxed and engaged. And she was very relaxed and engaging. Clicked well with Paul and actually had more in common with Prue than one realizes. She likes plenty of booze in her desserts, and she's not afraid to whip out a sassy zinger. She has the right balance of authority and openness. If Prue were to leave the show, Caroline would be the perfect replacement.
Interesting.
Good to know. Good to know. So that is what's up, people. Man, again, the American one goes by so fast. We will be at the last episode next week. It's crazy how quickly that's going to come. That one is not going to be live. My apologies. Just is what it is. But you'll get it next Friday as normal. So worry not. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Next Friday. Yeah. I ain't going to rush myself. I could probably do something, but nah.
You're supposed to say that all episodes,
of course. Do that for me.
All episodes are available to stream now on the Roku channel.
For free, people. Free 99.
For free 99.
Much easier if you have a Roku device, but if you don't, the RokuChannel.com. Just telling you that right now. Your question of the week doesn't exist. I'll probably make one up, but your poll for the week is, which one of these 3 desserts that they made this week would you have eaten? It's the technical challenge for me, the Esterházy Torte. I'm not a fan of fruit in my cake, but I'll just deal with it for this particular one. I'm not eating the dang flan, and I'm not eating no jelly cake.
I don't even know if I want the Esterházy.
It's like a big old macaron, with some buttercream in it.
But the apricot is throwing me, and the brandy, it's like apricot, brandy, almond. It doesn't feel like something I want. It's because I have to be so selective with my carbs and sugar that if I'm not all in, I'm not.
Then why be in at all? I'm with you. I'm with you right here.
You know what else I would never touch? That Perry breast.
Which one?
The Perry breast.
Oh, it's just basically a cream puff,
but it's crunchy.
Yeah, that cream. I mean, it's not meant to be crunchy per se. It's just supposed to have a little bit of a bite.
I wouldn't eat a cream puff though.
Didn't know you would not enjoy Perry breast.
Yeah, no, not eating that.
Nick, like, fuck shoe pastry. I don't get down with it in any way, shape, or form.
I would eat a shoe, just like a shoe donut with nothing inside. Maybe some chocolate inside, but like a gooey or creamy thing shooting into my mouth. No. No jelly, none of it. What's the line from Clueless? Well, there goes your social life.
She's Nick Jew.
Yes.
Tayrell 713. We will do this again next time. Thank you so very much for joining us. See you then.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.
Stays crunchy and milk.